Good evening. This is Amber Busby, and my topic is on the autoimmune protocol diet for irritable bowel disease. This is a not new topic, but a topic that has been, at least in my world, for quite a while, as I got diagnosed with colitis when I was 12. And then after my father passed away in 2017, I was actually diagnosed with celiac disease. So this is kind of something that I have been studying on my own for quite some time, but I wanted to be an advocate for how well the autoimmune protocol works for those with IBD. Okay, so what exactly is IBD? Well, IBD in a nutshell stands for irritable bowel disease, and it actually affects more than 1.5 million, close to 2 million people in the population. It includes just IBD. There's kind of different things under here. There's IBC, IBD. There's a lot of different letters that you could have on the end dependent on your symptoms. So the most generalized term is just IBD. There is also the ulcerative colitis umbrella and Crohn's disease as well. Now, all of these autoimmune disorders can be triggered by a lot of different things: alcohol, tobacco, stress, any kind of those environmental factors and lifestyle factors can go into play while you're dealing with these autoimmune issues. Now, there is definitely a food component to it as well. I know this from my personal life. When I was diagnosed, as mentioned previously, my gastroenterologist mentioned stay away from nightshades and stay away from grains, and you will feel better. And I am a little bit older now, and that has proven to be true. So I'm definitely a proponent of eating healthy and eating clean. Now, recently, there's definitely a more heightened awareness about what diet modification can do as treatment for IBD. In the past years, you've seen the keto diet become popular, autoimmune diet, and paleo. They all seem to come in waves, disappear, come in waves, and disappear. But eating clean is really very beneficial, and following the autoimmune protocol can work a lot of wonders. All right, the question of the hour. How much work is the autoimmune protocol diet? It is work. That is definitely not to be mistaken. You think that you eat clean until one day you have to do an elimination diet and you don't feel like you can eat anything anymore. So, what this really consists of, and under the direction of a registered dietitian or your gastroenterologist, any nutrition person with a credential would be preferred for you to follow AIP, is going to be your best bet. Now, your elimination phase can range anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 weeks. It just kind of depends on how much work your system probably needs, and the only people that can determine that are you and your physician. So, the elimination phase, I feel, is the most important aspect. So, that way your body can get rid of the toxins that you have been consuming from all of those, fast foods and all of those things that weren't necessarily clean in your diet. You're trying to find those triggers that make you feel not great. So, that is the elimination of eggs, is a big one. Um, Grains, nuts, legumes, seeds, and dairy, actually. So that's not considered a clean food. So you're going to be doing that. It feels like a lot of bland chicken for a while. And then your reintroduction phase can last several weeks depending on what you're adding back in. As a personal episode for myself, I knew that avocados were a trigger for me for a long time. And so the reintroduction of avocados was taking quite a bit. Now, that reintroduction phase, you're going to add one thing. You're not going to add several food items back into your diet at one time. You can maybe start with the lowest lactose cheese and try that and see how your body does and just kind of take it from there. And the maintenance phase is meant to be ongoing. There was a medical study done in La Jolla, California, where the researchers from the Scripps Clinic there did a study to see what the effects on IBD patients utilizing the autoimmune protocol diet would be. So they went through a 6 week elimination period and then they followed up with a 5 week maintenance period. And their stats were pretty astounding. 73% of their patients were able to be in remission within that 6 week elimination phase, and then they maintained their remission status in the maintenance phase. And that is wonderful, wonderful news. So by taking out of the alcohol, the nightshades, the refined sugars, eggs, and any other of those possible triggers for those patients, they were better able to help them have more quality of life and feeling great instead of feeling ill. Now, there was another clinical trial done for patients with IBD, and those patients, that select group of patients, was able to see improvement within 3 weeks of the elimination period. So that study just kind of acknowledges, or at least these two studies both acknowledge, that autoimmune protocol can definitely aid in taking care of those with IBD symptoms. Now, it may not be a cure all, but you are able to have better health with the autoimmune protocol diet. Now, based on those studies conducted that I read up on in my own personal research, I am definitely in support for the autoimmune protocol for IBD. I think that nutrition can be used as therapy, and I think dietitians have a huge role to play in helping doctors find the best avenues for patients. I have heard, and I've never gone to medical school, so I cannot say whether it's true or not, but doctors only have about 8 hours of nutrition amongst their entire course of study. And nutritionists, that is where their whole, or I guess dietitians, that is where their whole degree is centered on. So I think registered dietitians and nutritionists have a huge role to play in being an advocate for eating clean and helping those that need these particular kinds of diets to help them have a better quality of life.